Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in the world's strangest villages, from the isolated Supai Village in the Grand Canyon to the largest floating city in Africa, and even places where scarecrows outnumber humans? These are real communities with lifestyles you won't believe still exist. In this episode, we'll take you inside the most unusual villages on Earth, where tradition, survival, and geography have shaped life in ways most of us can't imagine. If you're searching for weird places people live, remote communities, or hidden villages, you've just found your next obsession. Join us as we uncover 11 strangest villages where people actually live. Grab your popcorn and enjoy watching. Number 11. Supai Village. Imagine a village so remote that Amazon deliveries come by mule. No roads, no cars, no cell signal, just red rock walls, crumbling cliffs, and silence. Welcome to Supai, the only place in the entire United States where mail is still delivered by pack horse, hidden deep within the rugged heart of the Grand Canyon. And here's the wildest part: most Americans have no idea it even exists. This isn't the Wild West, it's something older and stranger. To reach this tiny outpost, you either hike 8 miles down scorching canyon trails, ride a helicopter, or hire a mule to carry your belongings. But for the 208 people who call it home, Supai isn't an adventure, it's just daily life. Tucked beside turquoise waterfalls that look almost unreal, Supai is the ancestral land of the Havasupai tribe, who've lived here for over 800 years. Surviving in one of the most inhospitable yet breathtaking terrains on Earth. But isolation comes at a price. Everything from bottled water to school books must be flown or hauled in. And if someone needs emergency medical help, it could be hours away. When COVID hit, Supai was sealed off entirely, vanishing from the world like a ghost village. Tourists were banned, the trails were closed, and the community relied solely on what they had. Yet, despite all odds, Supai thrives, guarding its traditions, language, and sacred lands with fierce pride. There are no traffic lights, no supermarkets, and no buzzing cities for miles. Just the sound of crickets, the roar of waterfalls, and a sky untouched by light pollution. Number 10. Zhongdong Village. High above the clouds, in the mountains of Guizhou, China, there's a village built inside a cave that looks like something out of the Stone Age. This is Zhongdong, one of the world's last cave-dwelling communities. Surrounded by mist, cliffs, and endless stone, life here feels like a dream or a forgotten legend. There are no paved roads leading to Zhongdong. To get there, you climb for hours through narrow mountain trails, past rice fields and bamboo groves, until suddenly, the earth opens up. Inside the massive limestone cavern, nearly 100 people live together under one colossal ceiling of rock. No windows, no walls, just the echo of footsteps, the crackle of fires, and the slow rhythm of life. For generations, Zhongdong has existed between two worlds, sheltered by stone, yet exposed to the wind and cold. There's a school, a basketball court, and even satellite TV, all inside the cave. It's peaceful, it's raw, and it's unlike anywhere else on Earth. But the future is uncertain. Authorities have long debated whether Zhongdong should continue. Some say it's too remote, others call it unsafe. There was even an attempt to shut the village down, forcing families to relocate to nearby towns. Still, many returned. Because to them, Zhongdong is more than shelter, it's home, a place where the modern world fades and nature becomes the roof over your head. Number 9. Lukomir Village. High in the Bejelashnika Mountains, where the wind screams through the peaks and the clouds roll like ghosts, there's a village teetering on the edge of time. Lukomir, the highest and most remote village in Bosnia and Herzegovina, earned its name not just for its altitude, but for how far it stayed from the world below. One of the last places in Europe where life hasn't caught up to the 21st century. You won't find streetlights, you won't see shopping malls, no buzzing traffic, No glowing screens, just the howl of wind and the bleating of sheep echoing through stone canyons. Getting there isn't easy. The roads twist like serpents through the mountains, and in winter, they vanish under meters of snow, cutting Lukomir off for months. But for the few families who remain, many well into their 80s, this isn't a hardship. It's their unique way of life. They speak in ancient dialects, stitch clothes by hand, and heat their homes with firewood, just as their ancestors did during the Ottoman Empire. And when you walk through Lukomir, it doesn't feel abandoned. It feels haunted by memory. The stone-roofed houses, some over 200 years old, lean into the wind like they've made peace with it. The village cemetery is filled with medieval tombstones, carved with symbols long forgotten. But here's the twist. Lukomir isn't dead. It's enduring. Against the climate, against modernity, against time itself. Tourists may come for the view, but they stay for the stillness, a kind of silence that hums louder than any city. Number 8. Scarecrow Village. We're heading to the Aya Valley of Japan, tucked between twisted mountain roads and forests that whisper. There's a village where the people don't move. Locals call it Nagoro, better known as the Scarecrow Village, and what you see here isn't a horror movie, it's real life. Once a thriving community, Nagoro began to vanish as young people left for the cities, chasing futures the mountains couldn't offer. Jobs disappeared, families relocated, and slowly, house by house, the village emptied. But one woman stayed, Aya no Tsukimi, and she refused to let the silence win. So she began sewing life-sized scarecrows. One by one, she filled the village with them, over 350 figures, placed in classrooms, on benches, leaning against walls, fishing by the river. They're made of old clothes, straw, and memory, each one modeled after someone who once lived there. A little girl in a school uniform. You can walk through Nagoro and feel like time broke here and left behind shadows. The houses are quiet, but the figures keep coming. No blinking, no breathing, just faces turned toward you, like they're waiting for something. Now, there are more scarecrows than humans. Fewer than 30 people remain. No children. The school shut down years ago. Its last students are now made of cloth, and yet the scarecrows stay like echoes made solid. Tourists come and go. Cameras flash, but the village never really wakes up. It just watches, smiles stitched on, eyes painted wide. In the sun-drenched hills of Andalusia, Spain, there's a village that looks like it's been swallowed by the earth itself. This is Setenil de las Bodegas, a place where houses aren't just built beside the rocks, they're built into them, hidden beneath massive volcanic stone overhangs that loom like frozen waves above the streets. At first glance, it almost feels impossible. Walls that are rock on one side, plaster on the other. Ceilings that are natural stone, dripping cool air in the summer and holding warmth in the winter. This unique architecture has been here for centuries, offering natural insulation, long before modern heating or air conditioning existed. Walking through Setenil, the streets twist and bend beneath shadows cast by cliffs so close you could reach up and touch them. Some homes disappear entirely into the rock, their front doors the only clue they exist at all, like secret rooms carved into the heart of the mountain. This strange design wasn't just about comfort, it was born out of survival. The village grew from an ancient Moorish fortress, its homes tucked into the cliffs for protection from invaders and the scorching Andalusian sun. Today, life in Setenil moves at the slow rhythm of southern Spain. Cafes spill into the narrow lanes, their terraces shaded by the rock above. Residents greet each other beneath walls that have stood for hundreds of years, and tourists wander in awe, snapping photos that can never quite capture the village's surreal beauty. Number 6. Ganvie Village. Located in southern Benin, Ganvie, often called the Venice of Africa, is unlike its Italian namesake. This isn't a tourist illusion, it's real. And it's alive. Over 20,000 people live here, not beside the lake, but on it, a true floating village. Entire families are born, raised and buried in homes built on wooden stilts, standing above the murky waters of Lake Nokwe. Schools float, markets drift, even churches are anchored to the waves. There are no roads, no cars, only wooden canoes gliding silently between homes, like shadows slicing through reflections. But this floating city wasn't built for beauty, it was built to survive. Centuries ago, the Tofino people fled from slave traders, escaping into the wetlands where horses and boats couldn't follow. And here, among the reeds and the silence, they built a new world on water, a village untouched by invasion. And somehow, it worked. Today, Ganvie is one of the largest lake villages on Earth, and its people still live in rhythm with the water, fishing at dawn, paddling to school, and trading boat to boat. But beneath the surface, the modern world creeps closer. Pollution threatens the lake, tourism shifts traditions, and yet, Ganvie endures. Its houses sway with the water, and its canoes carry generations forward, quietly, steadily, and without forgetting where they came from. The people of Ganvie continue living above the water, just as they always have, resilient, resourceful, and floating in defiance of time itself. Number 5. Long Neck Village. Tucked deep in the mountainous jungles of northern Thailand, hidden from the modern world, lies a village unlike anywhere else on Earth. We're talking about Huai Pukeng, known as the Long Neck Village, home to the Kayan people, famously known for their elongated necks, wrapped in shimmering brass coils. Only reachable by boat, the journey feels like stepping back in time, winding along a muddy river, the dense forest pressing in, until the water opens to reveal a cluster of wooden houses on stilts. Here, beauty isn't defined by magazines or movie screens, it's measured in rings of gold. Girls begin wearing the heavy brass coils as young as 5, adding more over the years until their necks appear impossibly long. But the truth is, the coils don't actually stretch the neck, they press down the collarbone, altering the body's shape and creating the illusion of length. To the Kayan, this isn't just decoration, it's identity, tradition, and a mark of cultural pride passed down from their ancestors. Life here is quiet but rich in ritual. Women weave intricate fabrics on wooden looms, their hands moving with practiced grace. Children play along the riverbank. Men are skilled hunters, bringing back wild boar and sharing it with every family in the village. Many of the Kayan people came from Myanmar, fleeing conflict decades ago, and their unique traditions became a double-edged sword, drawing curious tourists, but also raising questions about cultural preservation versus exploitation. Number 4. Masuleh Village. Now we're in one of the largest Muslim countries on Earth. High, in the mist-covered mountains of northern Iran, clinging to a steep slope like it's defying gravity, lies one of the most unusual villages in the world where people still live, Masuleh, a 1,000-year-old town. At first glance, it looks like a cluster of ancient golden houses stacked like building blocks. But don't blink, because you'll notice its streets aren't where you expect them to be. In Masuleh, rooftops are pedestrian streets. The flat earthen roof of one house serves as the courtyard and the pathway for the house above it. It's an architectural puzzle designed centuries ago to adapt to the unforgiving mountainside. Here, all vehicles are banned, not because the people want to live in the past, but because the village's design makes roads impossible. Instead, narrow alleys, stone staircases, and sloping pathways connect the homes, winding upward like veins through the mountain. Every step pulls you deeper into a living maze, where the sound of footsteps echoes off mud brick walls and the air smells of fresh bread baking in clay ovens. Built over 10 centuries ago, Masuleh's layout was meant for survival: tight passages for warmth, layered homes to save space, and high walls to shield against the mountain winds. But it's not just the architecture that draws you in, it's the feeling. The mist hangs over the rooftops like a veil, Shopkeepers lean from balconies to greet neighbors, and cats weave between stairways that lead both up and down. Life here moves slowly, untouched by the chaos of the modern world. Number 3. Ushguli Village. In the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Ushguli, where the air thins and the clouds cling to jagged peaks, is one of Europe's highest permanent settlements, perched at nearly 2,100 meters above sea level. In this village, the winters are long and merciless. For months, the winding roads disappear under deep snow, making the whole area feel cut off from the outside world. Yet somehow, life continues to thrive. Stone towers, built in the Middle Ages as defense against raiders, still rise over the cluster of houses, their weathered walls holding centuries of storms, sieges, and survival. The people of Ushguli are descendants of 7 warriors, fiercely independent and deeply tied to their land. They farm tiny plots of soil, tend to hardy livestock, and live in homes where generations have been born and buried. In summer, the ice loosens its grip, revealing green meadows and wild flowers against the backdrop of Mount Shahara, one of the tallest peaks in the Caucasus. But even then, the sense of isolation remains. Reaching Ushguli requires hours on rough mountain roads, and once you're here, you understand why so few leave. Because this isn't just a place, it's a way of life. Modern conveniences are rare, and local villagers hold tightly to traditions that run deep. Here, the seasons dictate everything. Outsiders often describe Ushguli as a living museum, but to those who call it home, it's simply survival, woven with pride, resilience, and an unshakable connection to the mountains. Number 2. Karo Village. Africa is home to countless tribal villages, many of which remain untouched by the outside world. And right now, we're deep in the heart of Ethiopia's Omo Valley, exploring the life and legacy of Karo Village, a place where survival isn't just a challenge, it's an art. Cut off from the modern world, the Karo people, fewer than 1,500 in total, thrive in one of the harshest environments on Earth, surrounded by nothing but burning skies, cracked soil, and the winding Omo River. But what truly sets them apart isn't just where they live, it's how they live. Here, beauty is power. The Karo are masters of body painting, using white chalk, red ochre, and charcoal dust to turn their skin into living art. Faces are marked with lightning-like lines, and chests are decorated with dots like constellations. It's not fashion, it's identity, passed down through generations. And in a world full of endless noise, the silence here speaks louder than words. In this village, there's no electricity, no internet, and no cities humming in the distance. Just the sound of drums, crackling fires, and the low whisper of tradition. After sunset, the entire village falls silent. The people live by the natural rhythm of the land, waking and resting with the sun. Outsiders often call it a primitive life, but look closer and you'll see a community that knows exactly who they are. They farm when the river allows, they fish, they dance, and they tell stories under the stars. Number 1. Tana, Toraja. Indonesia is famous for its diverse cultures, but high in the fog-covered mountains of South Sulawesi, there's one that truly blurs the line between life and death. Welcome to Tana, Toraja, a remote community where the dead don't disappear, they stay among the living. In most parts of the world, death is the end. But here, it's just the beginning of a new chapter. When someone dies, their body doesn't go straight to the grave. It stays inside the home, sometimes for months, even years. The family dresses them in new clothes, talks to them like siblings, and feeds them meals like a beloved family member. They're not dead, they're just sick, and no one finds it strange, because here, there's no fear of their departed relatives. When the funeral finally arrives, it's not a quiet farewell. It's a massive celebration that can last for days or even weeks. Families sacrifice buffalo, invite hundreds of guests, and carry the body to a cliffside tomb carved into stone. Watching from above are the Tao Tao, life-sized wooden effigies made to resemble the dead, standing silently over the village like ghostly guardians. Every few years, the Torajans perform a sacred ritual called Manin, where they reopen the tombs, clean the corpses, dress them in fresh clothes, and walk them through the village once again. Yes, the dead walk again, in ritual, in memory, and in spirit. In Tana Toraja, the past doesn't fade. It walks beside you, sleeps in your house, and watches from the wall.